Well, hello there, all my friends on the interwebs who love miniatures. I'm Dakian. It's a Monday, and I'm here to ramble. I've finished these 5 minis, and it is Monday, the 27th of May, 2024. Last episode of this month. Here in sunny Sweden is not a term you often hear, but summer is coming. It's very much warmer this week than it was a couple of weeks ago. So we accomplished these Heresy minis. We painted the second Riddick in a slightly different color scheme, and we tried to vary it up so pants and jackets are different colors, and you don't see the same combination twice. These sculpts are kind of rough, so I did not go for very careful painting. They're sort of semi-speed painted, you might say. And I also didn't bother with something else. Namely, a couple of these minis have a good deal of very solid and very hard flashing between their arms and their bodies, and I didn't bother to get rid of it. Specifically, you can see it on this mini. If you look down here, there's a black hole sort of between his arms and his body, and if you look from the other direction, yes, it's also black. Why is this? It's black paint, because there was a big chunk of metal there. I tried to poke it with a knife, not enough. I went at it with a hand drill, wasn't biting enough. I could have stepped things up and escalated to my Dremel, but I thought, no, nobody's going to see it. If I just paint it black, nobody's going to notice. It's like a hidden, shadowed portion anyway. This guy also has a slight, between his two wrists, there's a slight bit of metal. You can barely see it. I did scrape some of that away, but there's some left that was too difficult to get at, and I just painted that black as well. Hide your mistakes. And yeah, finished 5 more minis. I'm happy with that progress. Let's move on to what else is in the works. Now here's these new guys, the Guild Ball figures that I have prepped. They are not primed yet. I'm going to do that later today probably. So I simply put them on the slotted bases, and I chose not to use the lip bases that come with it because they would stand out from all my other fantasy minis that have normal 25mm bases, except for this guy who was bigger, and I decided that instead of trying to cut away the tab and mount him on a normal round base that was simply larger, I just went with the bigger lip base. Whatever. He's not normal sized, so he can be different. There was some assembly, some little bits that had to be glued on. That was fine. I just did my normal dirt bases here with the Vallejo basing material. And yeah, my impression of these minis is that they're not my favorite kind of sculpts. They have too many fiddly little details. I think what I'm going to try to do with this batch of guys to save a little time is to try to paint a lot of them with speed paints or contrast paints to just, you know, hurry up the process. That might make it go a little more or be sort of less tedious for me. But we'll see. There'll be some friends coming over for the painting evening, and I can hopefully get a lot of work done. And yeah, that's them. Let's some numbers and move on to next project. So let's do something a little bit different. I used to back a lot of Kickstarters by a company called Midland Miniatures because I thought they're miniatures were fun. They're kind of goofy looking, but interesting to paint and not too complicated. I stopped doing it because I simply stopped buying physical minis, or any minis at all, really. I'm trying to curb that. But I still have some boxes of old Kickstarters I never got around to. And this is one of the very first. This is called The Wizard's Apprentices. And there's 7 young wizards in silly hats running around having various mishaps. And yeah, I'll just they have these very small integral bases, so they need to be mounted on normal bases and have some filling and, you know, the usual stuff. I thought this would be a nice break, and I think the coming weeks, I also have a couple of follow-ups to this Kickstarter project. There was a part 2 Apprentices, and then there was a one project which was for these same apprentices but slightly older as adults, as finished wizards, so to speak. But I think I'll do those 3 packs in a row to keep the momentum up. So that's going to be what I do for the next few weeks, probably, unless I change my mind. Anyway, that's what you have to look forward to. And now the video's over. Thank you for sticking with me so long. Please give me a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe, and be back here again in a week from today. Same day of the week, same channel, same Daki Young, who's now signing off.